Welcome to Warblog. Today I'm going to play this game again. Wadi al-Abo Jabbara, the Men. Played it sort of last night when I was asleep, basically. In the empty office. And there were a few things I adjusted. Namely, these units were sort of over here when they were sort of supposed to be there in the first place, so I've moved them. Given these guys a few more reinforcements, just for the hell of it, but I've also given them some extra artillery. I'll maybe explain that in a bit. It's just because they're on a defensive role, and they're never really going to be able to attack any of these stacks, so the only way they're going to be able to do any damage is with artillery. So a bit of a faff, but so I'm just going to decide to play goes first. So we've got these set up. I think it's going to be pretty much the same gameplay. Moving these into there. Exchange. I think that's what we got yesterday. And these are all basically going to remain where they are. And that's that. So, based on my experience from yesterday, what I'm going to do slightly different this time is, as the Houthi player or the our player, I'm going to pull back earlier. Because last time these got destroyed. Now I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but this is, because I'm not going to play it all the way through. But I'm just introducing this sort of strategy. So obviously there's the line. So what I'm going to try and do is to somehow pull this unit, say, back to there. I'm going to pull this unit back to either there or there, but I think it's going to be there. So we've got that. They're not going to be able to steam through here, so a line will go along like that, like this. Now these guys I think are going to pull back to, I don't know where, one of these hexes, and these guys are going to pull back to here. Now what I envisage doing is somehow pulling this line back to there. So we end up with something at the end of the day on the first turn that will maybe look a bit like that, and then falling back to something that might or might not encompass this minefield. Like this, taking advantage of these hills for as long as possible. That's what I want to do. So, let's see how we can achieve that. Let's just see how fast these go in the desert. So, we've still got another movement in us. Now, what it might be better to do would be to move to there. So we're leaving our defensive positions, although to be quite honest, I think it might have been okay to leave these guys where they were. And we'll leave him there, at least for the time being, so we should be able to move him into these hills. Because that would have forced them to have attacked in defensive positions, so it's a mistake pulling out of there, but I'm going to live with that. One of the reasons I'm sort of doing this is because, as much as anything else, We've got this extra artillery piece, so he can essentially hit anything in there. This guy can hit anything in there. So we sort of got this as a defensive line. So anything sat in there, or anything approaching in there, so we've got this. So the further, if we can move these guys to there, as soon as they reach one of these 3 hexes, we can start hitting them with our artillery. These are out of artillery range, but we could possibly move some of this artillery. I don't really want to. But we could, for example, move it to there. At least try to move it to there, because by the time anything gets in the range, I think I am actually going to move some of this artillery. Now I'm going to put them there, because I think, yeah, it's over half the move. So if it gives me more flexibility, because I can actually hit here. If he enters there this turn, I'll be able to use them, but I'm then otherwise then going to either move to there or there. I think I might actually move to there. Now, he's got his main mechanised units there, so we really want to push these guys in that direction. And I want to leave them there, but I want to pass these through, which is a bit of a pain. So we can't. Move 1. Because we've moved all of that. We want to move these. No. So I'm presuming he's still got a bit of defence, because he's not going to go into the minefield necessarily. And if he moves into this hex or this one, they'll stop. So we've got a bit of time. Okay, so we've got some engineers now. But we don't want to push them in there yet, because we get attacked by that. But we can move forward now. So let's just sort of have a look at this with the pencil tool thing. So we can move to there. Move to there. So we've all got these in good order now. So what can we do with these? Well, we can move into this hex, or we can move into that hex, and then with these we could move them right down here. So in theory we could move there, there, and follow whatever's in there underneath, either to there or to there, taking these hexes. Now here we've got a choice. We're sort of stuck, but we could just sit there, and I think that's probably the way to do that. There's no need to sort of push that too much. Okay. Armour. 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 Really want to move that. Okay, so we'll take the ground, but I don't think I'm really attacking anything. But here, we could possibly do quite a few attacks, but what's it going to be? I mean, there were 4 in the hills. Is it doubled to 8? I can never remember these things, but I'm going to check it out. defense twice. So we're going to be worth 8 in there, so we can get 9, 15. Plus its armour, so that probably will be 2 to 1. Here it's going to be similar. We could try 2 to 1s, because these will be able to engage twice if they get an exchange. Do we want to do that? I mean, we've got to sort of do something, because otherwise they'll start digging in. And I think striking early is going to be key, so I think I'm going to do that. One to one. Okay. So we're going to call that attack off because they're only going to be worth 12 now. So that'll be another 1 to 1. I don't want to do a 1 to 1. So end of that turn. Right, so the strategy is still the same. If we hold there, so what we might like to do is to, I really want to get this anti-tank towards the tanks. But interestingly enough, our artillery is now in range of all of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect it a little. Allowing me to move my anti-tank through. This is sort of interesting because what I can do he comes into those two exits, they've got the artillery. There's nothing we can attack there, but once we start getting artillery into play, .9, 1.6, 1.2, 1.3. It brings a bit of a new dimension to the game because that's a heavy pounding. They've got to get this artillery quickly, otherwise they'll lose the integrity of what they've got. Can we get there? Yeah. I've deliberately given them short range artillery just to represent it being crap. It might be able to fire further, but you know, they probably don't have the possibly don't have the ability to target further or something like that. You know, it's just a general reflection on its quality and rating, but I mean, we used it to good effect on that stack. Well, that's that. So, there's more units here and they're going to continue to arrive. So what do they want to do? You see, the thing is, going through the minefield is not necessarily that bad. If we go through the minefield now, we will be able to get an attack on this stack. Well, I think we've got to keep the pressure going, and I'm going to move them into there, and move them into there, which means we're going to get rid of those mines next turn. Here, we sort of want to keep the pressure going, but I don't really want to advance. What I want to do is to push these into this hex and attack. Either that, let's just see what happens. Okay, so we're going into a minefield. Confirm entry into hex, yes. Damage from minefield, 0.9. Okay, so my turn ends, that's the problem. Well, I'll do the next one. 0.4. I want to do it. 0.8. 0.9. So we lost, about 0.8, 0.9 on most elements. And what I want to try and do, I can't really, shuffle everything around. And let's try this 1-to-1 here. Got it. That was a bit lucky. We can't get into the hills. Yeah. Okay. There's an island there, maybe. No. 2 minutes. Okay. Let's just reload just to make sure we've got that correct. That's it. Can't get into these hills. Okay. Leaving that flank a bit open, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to just drive quickly and concisely into this part of the world. Do I want to move forward here? Well, he's worth 4, and we get 12. We get a 3-to-1 against that. They can't really counter-attack, but we could also maybe shuffle it along this way a bit. So I can move there and there, or there and there. If I move there and there, I can do the 3-to-1 attack against that, possibly pushing that further back, or if I do it this way I can push that one back. This one's sort of more central and doing more damage in the central areas. But I really want to be getting towards this this artillery. So I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to drive towards this artillery. we are. So I don't want to leave anything weak. But at the same time, you could possibly push these ones further back, but I'm not. I'm going to leave them a little stronger, and he'll get attacked with the artillery next turn. So, we've got these as well. Oh no, we're on the Saudi turn. Okay, so with these, we've got these. And I'm worried there because the artillery could get attacked. I'll push these guys back into there, or shuffle them around. What does this offer? I can get road 1, 2, 3, 4.2. I think we go quite a few more hexes, but what we really need to do is to do some damage against some of these units to see what our artillery can do here. No effect. 0.6. Well, let's see what we can do here, because we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could possibly have a 1-to-1 against that. Possibly. Even if we move these, it's not going to bring it up more than the 1-to-1. However, we've got anti-tank here, but we're not going to be able to do much with it. We really want to pound this. Let's see what the artillery does first. That's odd. I know, it's just a glitch. They're available there, so I'll attack that. Should be available now, yeah. That one's that, so what have we got? 5.6, 7, 1.6, and 2. Now that's difficult because under there we've got these units, so what I'm going to try and do is this. I'll move him into there, and him into there, and move him there, 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 anti-tank, anti-tank. We'll move him as best we can there. And let's just do everything against this, the C. I'm not even going to calculate the odds. I mean, it's about as good as it's going to get. It's not going to get any better. But we've got these two anti-tank units. I'm not sure what they'll be against these, but they could offer 5s each, so that could be a big bonus there. Oh, 1-to-1. The anti-tank didn't seem to take effect, or maybe it just only works against tanks. Well, even so, they would have been doing morale checks. So what can we do with these? I think in the first instance we might stack them up in here. And that is a perfect location. So okay. Well, that was a shame because we could have got more out of that. I'll have to re-look at that anti-tank. Why didn't it work? So those rules, aren't they? Surely the anti-tank should have done something. See, it says anti-tank versus a mix of armour and mechanism. Oh right, yeah. I don't know. So they should have had multiplied by 4. So I'll have to look into that, because the thing is, if they all had infantry in there, they wouldn't have counted. But they're just a stack of mechanised. So they should have had 4. They should have been 8. So it should have been 6 more, which probably might have got a 2-to-1. So that's not working. I'll have to figure that out. These things happen. The code gets sort of a bit peculiar after sort of years of development. I really need to start reviewing the code, really. Maybe just say we've got dodgy anti-tank missiles. That didn't work. Oh yeah, they're going to say that for the rest of the war, the rest of existence until I fix it. Anyway, it would be nice to do that, but the next turn we might be able to get something. Now, the nice thing about that is they're probably not that capable of attacking now. I mean, they're fairly weak in there. But this to sort of possibly back something up. I don't want to do a 1-to-1, I just don't feel lucky. You know, we've got a nice defensive line, let's see how they sort of try and deal with that. Okay, so we've got more reinforcements, and they've got more reinforcements. I don't know why I myself with the Houthis there, not really. I just feel as though I'm playing the Houthis for some reason. We've got 2 lots of artillery, so now we've got artillery coming in, and it's got 5 range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to give them suddenly significant capability. In the first instance, let's get rid of this minefield. Mine density 0. So the mines are now gone. We really want to push these units. So what we could do is this. Oh, there's a minefield in there, isn't there? Look at that. And when you enter it, you die. Go into there. Complicated. So I want to sort of pull these back, but is there any reason? I mean, there were 4 in there. We should be able to get something against it. and if not, it's quite interesting how they've been decimated so early. We really just wanted to drive onto this artillery piece. Once we get rid of these, it's sort of it, but we really want to start pushing these units as well. Let's do this. I'm just going to get that stack there. Exchange. Okay. Well, let's push the artillery this way. And mechanise this way. And let's see if we can drive through here. We're going to pepper them up first. No, I don't think so. Exchange. We're not doing very well on this front. It's all sort of holding, but the reason I didn't do that is I want my artillery to fire into there. .8. So we're going to add up 2.4. And now we're going to go in with the remains of this. To an exchange. Well, doing some damage, but that was pitiful. Do I want to push the armour into that hex? I think so. Leave them there. And that's that. I'm not going to play anymore because I've got other things to do. But I think it just proves my sort of continual reiteration of the fact that you don't need a big playing space to play these games. Let's just get the end turns here so we've got a picture. You know, it's a very small space and it's all happening in that thing, because quite often you say, oh, I want a big map, and it's a very simple map. It's got so much particular sort of particularity about it that it's quite interesting, and it's certainly not resolved, and you've certainly got to do each and every bit. You know, this line is held, you know, and how much further can it hold it? This is decimated, and what does that all mean? Is it really that difficult? How could I have done that differently? And what I was trying to do is get as quickly as possible to this artillery. You know, but the second point, in relation to that, is they're playable again and again. Now I don't play them too many times, but because I was basically asleep when I played last night, the first one, I felt a little compelled to sort of try it again. But whenever you play one of these games, you always sort of think, well, hang on, I've played it once, now I can get the gist of it. And I think the game, you know, something like this, it has playability again and again. And I think that's, you know, part and parcel of the whole war blog thing. But, you know, being able to play it again and again demonstrates that it's, you know, it's got enough to it to make that possible. I mean, I've said this before, but I've played other games, and this was going back years, and this is one of the things about the internet and the modern world that bugs me a bit. Everyone seems to be playing like every new game release, and no one seems to be playing the same game like 20 times. But when I used to play war games, we would play the same game 20 times, because basically, I don't want to say we're poor, but I think it was sort of the whole idea you buy a game and then you'd actually play it a lot. When you look at people that are playing games on the internet, which is I quite often do, they're just simply buying a new game all the time. And you can only infer that they've got tons and tons of money. It sort of you know, especially when you look at things like Kickstarter and, you know, the tons of games being released, and I'm just not convinced that there's the number of players. I think there was more game creators than players. Maybe there's something about the internet that I haven't twigged. You know, maybe it's all being sort of hidden, and there are other worlds and other universes full of active and rabid gamers. But the internet that I exist on appears to really only have 10 people interested in games, which I find suspicious. But that's something else. But the point is, you know, people have a tendency to play one game once and then maybe get it out twice or something. And I think the sort of the proof of the pudding with a game is its repeatability, and it's not just that honeymoon period of playing it for the first time and figuring out the rules, which is a challenge. So that is the challenge. I think the challenge is understanding the rules and playing it, and finding the challenge in the game. Now the challenge here is quite clear, and I would love to play a lot longer. I really want to sort of do other things, but I just think it's interesting that it has that sort of repeatability in playing it in different strategies, because I think there are a few other strategies that could be used. For example, and it's a sort of strategy that I will probably not do a video of, but just waiting until the artillery comes on. So why get into artillery range when we could sit there until our artillery comes on? And that would be maybe the proper way to do it. And I do quite enjoy those sorts of games because they're frustrating, because it's like cheating, but it's doing it properly. So you sort of think, well, aren't you supposed to be playing a game? Well, no, you're not advancing. No, I'm waiting for my artillery. But you're going to wait for your artillery for 4 turns. You're not going to do anything for 4 turns, and then you're going to beat me by winning completely. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, that's sort of how games work. I mean, that's how you win. But it just seems it's one of these sort of strange things. I can remember playing a Napoleonic game in France, actually, against someone I've never seen before. And for some reason, someone said something about the English just always stand in line and let the French come to them. And I had this big long line of English units on this ridge. And I just sat there. And the guy was getting a bit angry because he was coming to me and I just wasn't moving. And as he came to me, I just started, when he got into range, I just started firing at him and blew him away. And he all routed. And it was simple as that, and I won. And it was just this notion of not being forced to sort of move my troops forward because I felt compelled, because that's part of the game. I just didn't do anything. I just didn't do any moves. And it's a bit strange, but it's sort of interesting that happened because, you know, I think that the point I'm trying to get to is there is a sort of compulsion to actually sort of move and to play the game, whereas, you know, here you probably just sit there and wait till the artillery comes on and start using that, and that would be an alternative strategy. All the other strategies you can say, well, how do we just shift everything this way and come around here? Why don't we shift everything this way and come around here? Or something like that. Again, I think for the Houthis and Sayala, we could possibly hold these 2 hexes a little longer, possibly keep the line more like this from an earlier stage, or more like this from an earlier stage. So falling back, but not falling back here, rather like that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.